Hey, happy Monday. Scott with the man's mental load. Hope you had a great weekend. And I've been talking to my friend Zach back and forth, who's a male influencer. Great guy. He's really helped me out quite a bit. So let's talk about the male mental load. And without me being disparaging to anybody, let me be upbeat and give those tips that you are looking for, men. And for you ladies that are watching, let me help you out too. I was talking to my daughter a little while ago, 41 years old, married, 2 kids, 8 and 6. And she said, "Hey, Dad." I said, "Hey, what?" It's really about communication. That the woman has to communicate with the man what she needs and, explain to him what she needs. Now, we've all heard that the wife can communicate with the man, and the man may do it, but not the way she wants it done, or only does it for a short period of time, and then he kind of goes away. So my friend Zach has encouraged me, and it's right here in my heart what he's encouraged me, to give the guys the tips to make the ladies' mental load easier. But what I have to say is, ladies, do not expect him to be perfect. Do not expect him to be you. And for those lady influencers that are out there, what I recommend is to tell the ladies to be single then. If you're expecting a man to think like you, to predict and to do the way you do it and all these things, it may be best to be single. It really may. Because men are from Venus, women are from Mars, whatever book that is. We think differently. And the sooner that men and women understand that we think differently, the better it's going to be. There's going to be a lot less stress on the female side of this thing. I just wish he would anticipate. I just wish he would understand. I wish we're different, people. Guys are different than girls. Girls are different than guys. It's just the way it is. And if you don't like that, then no amount of advice or coaching or help is going to help you, because we're different. Yes, men's hobbies, hunting, fishing, mountain biking, parasailing, are away from the home. They're away from the home. They're away from the home. While mine are in the home, the gardening or the stamp collecting, or, unless you're going out once a week or once a month for your girls' night out. But yes, men's hobbies are away from the home. Hunting, fishing, mountain biking, parasailing, golfing, rope climbing, target shooting, wrestling bear, shooting arrows. They're away from the home. Get it. Okay, get it. That's the way it is. Men are men. Hunt, fish, mountain bike. We're men. And ladies, if you're looking for a man to be like you, don't read my mind on that. So what tips can I give men, going back to my friend Zach, what tips can I give men to help? Stay single. Stay single. That's the advice I have for you. Venmo me $250, I'll tell you, stay single. Because you and I both see all these memes that men want peace. They want to come home and be like the 50s, kick off their shoes, read the newspaper, scroll ESPN, and have peace. Well, as long as you're married and have kids, you're not going to have peace. You're going to have the backpacks. You're going to have the online school forums. You're going to have to take Timmy to baseball and Brittany to ballet. There's going to be stuff on Saturday. You're going to take the kids. There's going to be laundry. There's going to be dishes. You're going to be checking the oil in the car. You're going to be mowing the lawn. You're going to be pressure washing the house. Even this weekend, my wife said, "Hey, can you do this kind of landscaping around the house?" I said, "Yeah, I'd be happy. I want to do it." It was fun being outside. Got my gloves on and did some stuff and put stones down. And I said, "Honey, do you like it?" "Yeah, that looks great." Okay, good. But the other tips I can give men are, unless you stay single and you're happy, stay single, stay happy. If you want to get married and have kids, then this is what you got to do. You really got to lay this stuff out ahead of time before you get married, okay? If you're not married yet, this is what I recommend. My wife and I went to engagement encounter through our Episcopal church before we got married. And we covered like 12 or 14 topics over a weekend. How many times a week do you want to have sex? Who's going to do the checkbook? Who's going to work? Who's going to cook? Who's going to clean? Who's going to X? Who's going to get Y? And then there was a thing about having kids. Now, back then I was 22 and my wife was 25. We were engaged at the time. And we talked about kids. You know, they had the little session, and then she went this way in the woods. I went this way in the woods with our little notebooks, had our little notebooks. Came back together, and I said, well, honey, how many kids do you want? None. She goes, how many kids do you want? 2. And I said, well, listen, let's go home right now because you don't want any, I want 2. Let me pray about it. And then she came back, okay, I want 2. And you know what I did? Honey, initial right here, would you? Initial. Just so I didn't hear you and you come back later and say you didn't. We had 2 kids, that was it. I took care of it on my side. 2 kids, unlike somebody who will remain nameless who has 4 kids. I promised I wouldn't talk about her, I just did. Young, 4 young kids. You made your bed, now you're sleeping in it. So anyway, for guys, what you need to do, anticipate, right? Ask questions. Now, I'm not supposed to talk about the online creator, but she said, how many times do the men say, just give me a list of things to do? All the time, right? Guys say that, hey, because what are guys? We're fixers. We want to fix things. Fix the car, fix the pressure washer, fix the yard, fix the relationship, fix. We want to fix. That's how men are. Female online producer, we're fixers. We want to fix things. But I'm not a lineman. Awaken with JP. Awaken with JP. Look at that. Lineman. Okay, sorry, Zach. All right, so sorry. All right, so anyway. Honey, what do you want me to do? Okay, I want you to anticipate. If you see the stuff in the washer, put it in the dryer. You know, I want you to volunteer at the school. I want you to volunteer at the school like your mothers do. The mothers, we volunteer at the school. You know, my son-in-law is a coach. He coaches one of the kids' baseball teams. Does that count? Does that count? Taking the kid to the dentist, taking the kid to the whatever, the doctor appointment. But again, I don't even hate saying this, it's the truth. I come from a different era. I'm 64 years old. Dad worked 2 jobs. Mom stayed home, laundry, dishes, but I understand it's different now, especially for the single moms. Because Zach and these other online creators, I don't know how you counsel the single moms. I mean, they are doing double duty. They are filling out the online school forms. They are doing the backpack. They are putting the shoes out there, seeing if the shoes are too big or too small, if there's holes in the underwear. They're doing a lot of things. So the single moms, they're definitely doing double duty. The guy ran off. But for those people that are married, there's just got to be a couple questions I got to ask. And Zach, I'm sorry about this, but it goes back to the man-child thing, which is kind of one of the latest terms too, man-child. And I've said this in my last video. Number 1, why in God's name did she marry him? Now, if you're going to say, well, he was just fine. Those 6 months or a year when they were dating, well, we all know why everybody's just fine the 6 months and 1 year while they're dating. The girl's putting on her best. He's putting on his best. And then once he captures her, once he's possessed her, he's got her, now he can be his regular. He can be like this. And of course, on the lady side of it, now she can get fat. You've seen that meme, right? Now I can get fat. But if you're looking for this, listen, you're never going to have the perfect relationship, right? You're never going to have the perfect relationship because you have 2 separate human beings that are programmed by their moms and their dads, or just their moms, or just whatever, how they are. And I have a very close friend of mine who's looking at his inner child, the latest thing, like mindfulness and all these other terms that have recently come up in the last 5 years. mindfulness. But my friend who's looking at his inner child is seeing what happened to him when his parents got divorced and how hurt and how that hurt is now going on to his marriage. And again, you got to look at that kind of stuff, because what about the inner child of that female online creator? She said her parents were divorced. I'd like to know more about that. If I want to ask, I mean, at what age? Was it young? Was it when she's 15? Because that's what made her the way she is today. Totally 100%. Totally 100%. Scott Lara, Man's Mental Load. Stay tuned.